Today you'll get the kit to build the Astable circuit, as shown below. This will consist of a bag with a number of different components in. You'll have a breadboard, you'll have some leads, you have some components, a battery, and in the bottom of the bag you'll have an IC, and you'll also have a capacitor. The first thing you need to do is break these leads up into separate leads. Then you'll have all the leads separately. Next thing we need to do is get your circuit, and the easiest way is to go through your components and place the components on the board. There's your IC. I'm going to use the red LED, so I'm going to have a red one there, and I'm going to have the green one at the bottom. I also need battery lead. I need a 1K resistor, which is brown, black and red there. Another 1K resistor, brown, black, red there. A 10K resistor, which is brown, black, orange. Another one, brown, black, orange. And also a set of leads. Okay, that's all the components covered. If I've got that wrong place. And the only other one is the capacitor. There's your 22 microfarad capacitor. Okay, now we've got all the components, we can now start looking at building the board. You can see over here, I've got a picture of the IC. The pins, it's got a cutaway at the top, and you've got pins 1 to 4 down one side. Then it takes a U shape and it goes 5, 6, 7, 8. And also I've marked up the ground, the red for reset, and the VCC is red. Okay, if we bring our board over, I'm going to start with my breadboard at the top, and I'm going to have it where pin 1 is in the top left hand corner. I'm going to grab my IC. The first thing I'm going to do is put my IC on there. On the IC, you'll see it's got a cutaway at the top. I'm here. I'm going to put that on row 14. This top pin, I'm going to put in row 14 with the cutaway this end. The next thing I'm going to do, as you can see, you've got a negative and positive at the top, and you've got negative and positive at the bottom. Now you want these two rails joint up, so you want the positive rail at the top, connect to the positive rail at the bottom with a red lead, and the negative rail at the top, blue lead, connected to the negative rail at the bottom. And that allows you to put the battery on the top rails and it'll feed to the bottom. Okay, next thing we're going to do, oh by the way, when you put the IC in, it's got to go across this cutaway, because these are separate rows to these rows at the bottom. So each pin has got its own row then. The next thing I'm going to do, if I look at the circuit, the first thing I'm going to do is look at the IC, and I'm going to connect any reds to the IC. And as you can see, we've got a red one on pin 4. So if we get a red wire, I'm going to go to pin 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to follow that row down, and I'm going to put it on the end to give us plenty of clearance. And I'm going to put that over on the red wire. We've also got a red on pin 8. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So follow that row along, put it on the end. I'm going to put that on the red row at the top. Okay, next one, we've got normal reds on the IC. We've got a blue on the IC, which is pin 1. So we get a blue wire. So pin 1, that one there, and then follow it down, put it on the end. I'm going to put that on the blue rail. Okay, there's no blues or reds on the IC. So first place I'm going to start is if we look at, is there any connections that I could do on the IC still? We've got a pin 2 to pin 6. So we get a grey wire. We go pin 2, it could be yellow or you could use white, it's up to you, but I'm going to use grey for all the internal wiring. So pin 2, so it's 1, 2, so I'm going to go 2, So I'm going to bring it down there. I'll tell you what, I'll go there. I'm going to go 2, and I'm going to go across to pin 6. So it's 4, 5, 6. There. No, there's no other bits that I can do on the IC at the moment. So next thing I'm going to do is concentrate on this rung here. The 10K, the 10K, and the C1. So if we get 10K resistor, and if you look at the top, it goes in the positive rail. So one end goes in positive rail. So put in the positive rail. Next one goes in a row somewhere. I'm going to put that in that row. Now join into that 10K resistor is another 10K resistor, but there's also going to be a join to pin 7, but we'll concentrate on the second resistor. So second resistor, leave a hole for doing pin 7, and go next one down. So that's now joined into that leg of that resistor. Now we've got to go down to the row at the bottom, leave a bit of room to put the capacitor in. Now join into that end of that 10K resistor, R2, we have a capacitor. On the capacitor you'll see it's got a short wire and a long wire. I say greater than, positive, less than, negative. Greater than, positive, less than, negative. Yeah. And also you'll see it's got a grey line on it with a minus sign on it. So your short wire goes in the bottom on your negative, and your long wire joins to the 10K resistor. So 10K resistor, and then to negative. Alright, so I've done that line. I've now got to do a wire from between the two 10K resistors to pin 7. Between the 10K resistors, so that's here, to pin 7. Pin 7 is just one down from 8, so it's there. And I've also got a wire going from between 10K resistor R2 and C1. So that can either go to 6 or 2. So grab a wire, and let's go. I'm going to go between, so it's on the same row as there. I'm going to go to 2 because that's, yeah, I'm going to go to 2 because that's the closest. Okay, I've now completed that rung. So next one I'm going to do is over this side, the red LED. And the red LED, positive on one side, negative on the other side. Now I take it that the bar at the bottom of that symbol is the negative side. And also it's the same as the capacitor earlier, less than and greater than. Greater than is positive, less than is negative. So we want the long leg in the positive out at the top. So I'm going to go to the positive out at the top. Now I'm going to go somewhere in here. Now I've got a 1K resistor, which is the red, black and brown. That's going to join to that leg of the LED, and it's going to go into a row at the bottom. We've now got another resistor, joins to that first R3, so that goes in the same row, leaving a gap for the wire that goes across to pin 3. So that goes there, but we can't put it in the same row because otherwise it'd be shorting out. So I'm going to move it to a row across here. And now join into that R4. I've got my other LED, which is the green one. So you've got greater than, less than. Less than is negative, greater than is positive. So I'm now going to join that to that resistor, which is in that row. I'm going to do that on the negative round. So I've now completed that one. No, I haven't. I've still got one left. I haven't done that wire for pin 3. So between R3 and R4, which is there, that's got to go to pin 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I've now completed that. So last but not least, battery. Put the battery on there. Negative in the negative rail, and black for negative, and red for positive. and away you go. That's your Astable Circuit flasher. Okay, pay attention to detail and make sure you follow the diagram. And take note of your colour coding. Make sure you use the right colours for your wiring. And make sure you use your symbol. Okay. If you get any issues, then double check it. If you still can't get there, you've still got to bring your circuit in so we can see it work and tick it off. If you have got issues, we can always look at it with you and guide you on how to correct it.